Verse number 27. Proverbs chapter number 3 and verse number 27. I got one verse and just one thought on our heart. Maybe it'll challenge us a little bit and remind us a little bit of something that we can do. And I know a lot of times we look at life, we look at our world, we look at things and we feel like there's nothing I can do. And a lot of times there's nothing really in a big aspect, I guess, that I can do. But sometimes we forget about the little things that we can do. And if everybody just do their little part, do what little you can do, well, put it all together, it might make a big difference in the end. So maybe tonight, just stir us up, challenge us a little bit to be mindful of the little bit. This is something we can all do. Maybe it'll make a difference in somebody's life. Proverbs 3, verse 27, one short verse, the Bible says, "Withhold not good from them to whom it is due. It is when it is in the power of thine hand to do." That's all I want to read for right now. I know that's kind of pulling a verse right out of the middle of the chapter, but I thought about as Brother Delbert was preaching up here Sunday. He made the comment 2 or 3 different times that the squeaky wheel tends to get the grease. In other words, the most vocal, the noisy one, or the person or whatever that's giving you the most problems usually tends to get the most of our attention. And I don't know about you, but oftentimes it affects me that way, that it's the things in life or circumstances or people, places, whatever it might be, that tends to give me the most trouble, tend to get the most of my attention and the most of my energy and my efforts a lot of times. But it's easy to forget about the people who maybe are on your side or on your team. That's the only way I know to say it. I know Laura told us the other night about a friend of hers who works for one of the state representatives here in Tennessee, and how that Tennessee's passing some laws that are not sitting really well with the liberal politicians and the liberal people and the liberal thinking and the liberal agendas. And she was telling us about her friend, how that they're continually being harassed and cursed and talked to ill and mean, and people just taking all their frustration out on them from the other side. And a lot of times I put all my emphasis on the politicians I don't agree with. I look at the ones on the left and I talk about this. But when's the last time any of us picked up a phone and called somebody we do agree with? We got some politicians here in our state that I think are trying to do something good. Have we ever, listen, it's so easy. Their name is on the internet. You can click a link and send them an email if you do that kind of thing. You can call their offices. You can write them a letter. As much time as I spend with my pest control customers and friends, and sometimes some of us here at the church, we stand around and talk, complaining about the ones who are against us, if I took that same energy and poured it into the ones who seem to have some Christian values to encourage them, it might make a difference. Right now, it seems like with our nation, it's like it's kind of 50-50, and we're butting heads, and we're in a big tug of war. And anybody that's trying to at least stand for the Lord or stand for some biblical values, conservative values, I want to let them know I appreciate it. Because there's a whole other side out there telling them how sorry and how they're holding us back and how they're uneducated and they're unconcerned and they're uncaring. And I'd like for them to know that's not everybody feels that way. There's still some folks over here in the mountains having prayer meeting on Wednesday night. We like people that vote for biblical marriage. We like people who are pro-life. We like people who believe in male and female. And what your birth certificate says, that's what you are. I like like those people being down there at the Capitol. I like them up at Washington at the federal level. And every once in a while, we might all let them know about it. I don't know, I did just looking through today, just over the last couple of years, Tennessee is sort of in a minority. Tennessee, maybe Florida, Mississippi, Oklahoma. It's kind of a coalition, this small group in our country that we're kind of a minority that's taken some pretty big stands. When Roe v. Wade was overturned and power was given back to the states, Tennessee was one of those ones that stood up. Now abortion is just about illegal in our state, except for medical purposes and medical reasons. And then the Pro-Life Act, the Heartbeat Act, and all that went in. I'm for that. There's plenty of people who are not, but I'd like to let them people know. I'm glad to hear about it. Glad that we respect life. We honor life. God made life, and God made the plan and the system of conception, and life begins at conception. And I'm glad there's somebody that fears God and represents that. Right on down through that. You go through and what we're doing to children. And that's one of the biggest things I think I see a change in. And hearing older people, older commentary and stuff, people talk. Used to be that women and children were kind of off limits. Like if a woman walked in the room, the men quit cussing. Older commentary and stuff. Children showed up, they hid their alcohol, quit cussing. You watch an old Western or something, a lot of times they showed a little respect to the women. But now that seems to be the two groups that are under the biggest attack. Women and children. You think of what they've done to our ladies. If my little girl were to be a good ball player or something and maybe could get a little money for school, she may not get it now. Because some boy that says he's a girl who can run a little faster than her will knock her out of it. We're robbing our women of that. Those ladies that stood up wanted women's rights and all these things, and now that same group is letting men take it over, destroying what women truly are and the honor that belongs to women. But I appreciate here in our state that we live in, we passed laws this past year that said we do not recognize boys participating in girls' sports. And we took a lick for it too, by the way. The ACLU has a lawsuit they'd like to get filed. I looked it up, and when I Googled not only that, but just transgender, Tennessee law, and transgender and children. When I searched that on the internet, I couldn't even get to the Tennessee government page for reading through the liberal articles who want to sue our state. We better let these people know, don't cave. Don't cave in, don't break down, don't give in. We're not all against you. There's a bunch of us for you over here. And so I guess I read that verse tonight just to say this. I can't change everything, and I'm definitely not running for politics or none of that, but what I can do is give a little honor to somebody that deserves a little honor. And if there's somebody down there taking the heat, and they're being criticized on the internet, they're criticized on the news, they're criticized on social media and all that, and they're having to hear it from the other side, it'd probably be really nice just for somebody to say, I appreciate what you're doing, we're praying for you. Be very welcome. Just give a little honor to them, to those folks. And right on down the line, we've stood against teaching transgender to our children. Our state has took a stance that we're not going to let our little 10 and 12-year-olds come along that were born girls and decide they want to be boys. We're not going to let boys, our little boys, when they're 10, 12 years old, decide they're going to be little girls and go let some doctor play Dr. Hyde or Frankenstein on them. I don't know if you've done any research on this, and if you have the internet and do that kind of thing, do it. And find out the number of people who are going through these surgeries and they're committing suicide. Men who are being transformed into women, and all of a sudden their bodies, they're just trying to heal themselves. I'll just leave it at that. And they're messing them up and putting them through pain and torment and aggravation. They promised them happiness. And all of a sudden their bodies, and people are taking their own life and living in misery. I'm glad that, and I'm not saying that being a Tennessean or being from the South makes you a Christian, because it doesn't. You still got to be born again. But I'm glad to be a part of a place that, if nothing else, has a little common sense. I mean, if people don't want to have the religion part and they won't leave the Bible out of it, common sense, logic. What did Solomon say in this same book of Proverbs? Wisdom cries in the street. Just a little basic knowledge and common sense. I'm glad to be a part of a place that still has a little of that. I was talking to a lady today that came here from Texas. She left Texas because California has moved to Texas. Texas used to kind of be Tennessee. That's sort of, guns and ammo and the Alamo and all that stuff, Bibles and gunpowder, good old American way. And there still is a lot down there. But California has crept in. They said, we want it out. Her husband was able to work at a job that was able to transfer him to this area, and they said Tennessee seemed like the best place we could find. I'd like to keep it there. But you rest assured, where there's somebody trying to do good, evils will be present. They're already amongst us. Just looking to get away, and they never tell you that. We know what the Bible says about the devil, how he works. He never comes with a pitchfork and horns and a long tail. He comes like an angel of light. We're bringing tax money, bringing jobs, tourism, tax money. We're trying to get you people caught up with the rest of the world. I like that old song that said, I'll stand for Jesus and let the world go by. I'd rather drive on broken roads and have the Lord than to have new pavement and the best infrastructure and be without Jesus. The Lord wanting to make their way in. We need to make sure we have people. And I'm praying one, God raise up preachers. I keep bringing that up. But I'm telling you, there's a shortage of preachers. Now, these people that'll carry a Bible and dress up and everything, I'm talking about people called that didn't get into ministry, that got put into ministry. And I'm talking to other pastors. Sometimes I get thinking it's probably just me being that way, and they're the same way. It's like, I don't know who to call if I'm sick. I'm praying God raise up somebody to preach to my little girl. Somebody to preach to your little girls and boys and grandsons and granddaughters. But I'm praying God raise up some politicians with Christian values. Now, I know that don't always go hand in hand, and I know politics can be corrupt. But God can raise up some people to do that. We need to pray for them tonight. And get behind them. And I'm glad there's people that have that mindset and that skill set. I definitely don't have it, but I'm glad there's people who do. And we need to pray that God raise some of them up and put them in place, and we need to get behind them and back them. So I don't know if I agree with their monetary policy. I'll tell you something. I love you, and I think I'm probably fine by saying this in this crowd tonight. But if you vote for money, you vote for monetary policies over biblical convictions, you get right with God. Something's out of whack. Something's got out of place and out of order. I got my ideas, I guess, on what a good monetary plan, financial plan for our country, for our state looks like. But at the end of the day, righteousness exalteth a nation tonight. And when Israel, if we just want to go to the Old Testament, when they would follow the Lord and keep His commandments, they didn't go hungry. They didn't go homeless. God provided and made a way for them. They wound up hungry and homeless and broke and bent when they got out of God's will. And if we'll do that, seek the kingdom of God first and His righteousness, all that other stuff will be added to us. There's more important things than that. Somebody said, well, half them politicians, they don't mean what they say. Well, I don't know only God truly knows their heart. But here's what I know at the end of the day. Anybody that'll at least stand for God's will, for what's biblical and right and just natural. You know, I've said this before at the church. Talking about this whole, how we're confused on sexuality and the home and family and male and female gender and all that. Just go to the hardware and go in there and buy an extension. Talking about this whole, how we're confused on sexuality and the home and family. A male and a female gender and all that. And they are part of that cord, but they have different operations. You think somebody's ignorant as I am. If I can figure that out, I don't know how the rest of the world is confused. And they are part of. You let these folks know. I'd like to challenge our church to do that. If somebody write a letter, put something together. I'm not a great pensman or anything like that, or wants to send an email, put my name on there. You let these folks know. I'd like to challenge our church to do that. No, go ahead. Write a letter, put something together. I'm not a great pensman or anything like that, or wants to send an email, put my name on it. No, go ahead. Yeah. Our governor, we got representatives in our district. Horse Barger's up in Washington. She's part of our. Let them know. Hey, there's a group still backing this, still believing this. And we put you in there, and that's what we put you there for. You're our boys. So I'm glad we're on the same page tonight. Anybody that would have that on their heart, I'd be glad for somebody who'd like to stand up. We put you in there. Somebody pray about it or something if you want to do it on a piece of paper or if you want to do it via email, however. I'd like to challenge our church to do that. Do it continually. Let folks know where we stand tonight and give encouragement to them, but at the same time let them know where we stand and why anytime, like we said, there's somebody trying to do good, evil's there. We'll put the pressure on. And you think about it tonight, how much criticism when you're trying to do good. And we're kind of head up here, I guess. If you was in the spotlight, at state presence or nationwide, your name was being out there. Imagine that kind of pressure. There ain't nobody, and I know I've met people in life that say, well, I don't care what people think about me. That's not true. In fact, when people tell me that, those are the people who tend to care the most about what people think about me. Inside, we all care a little bit. We like to be liked a little bit anyway. If you say, well, I don't like to be liked, there's something wrong with you too. But anyway, I mean, you know, and as a recluse as I can be, I still like to be liked. Nobody likes to be called names and lied about and run down. And I guess it's been on my heart after Laura mentioned that how that has to start working. And I tell you one thing, I believe the devil would like for me, just right here, even in our church, amongst ourselves, and people that are trying to do something good, something to do right, he'd love for us to think we're alone. So how you figure that? He's done it to me even in our church, amongst ourselves. Did it to Elijah. People that are trying to do something good. Got him off by himself and convinced him everybody was against him. And nobody was going to believe him. He got so depressed he asked God to take him out. Reckon how Elijah would have felt if he'd have known about that 11,000 over there, I believe it was. So many thousand, how many ever it was God had, that had not bowed their knee to Baal and still need to hear about it preached. From a preacher. I don't believe he'd have got down like that. I thought about Jeremiah. He got that way where he said, I won't do it again. He'd been rejected so many times, said, I won't do it again. Thank God there's a fire in our bones. Right. Won't let us quit and keep us going tonight. And I just feel like how easy it is for the devil to get us off by ourselves somewhere, get us to thinking we ain't doing no good. Nobody likes us. Nobody cares. Nobody believes what you believe or supports what we're trying to do. Nobody wants your God or His Bible or His Spirit or His house. And boy, we can just lie to ourselves all day long and let the devil lie to us and get us in a place where we're so discouraged.
Nobody wants your God or His Bible or His Spirit or His house.
I just challenge somebody that would like to do that. Nobody has it on their heart. Go home and pray about it. Like Sister Carolyn said, there's people who can write good and they know how to put things like that together. I'd love to put our church's name on there. Put my name.
Nobody has it on their heart. Go home and pray about it. Like Sister Carolyn said, there's people who can write good and they know how to
challenge us to do that and be mindful of that. And, I thought about even what the Bible talked about, giving honor and prayers for those who are in authority, those who are in leadership. It's not a position I would want, that's for sure. And especially the mess we're in right now. I definitely wouldn't want to be a hard job to have. I know they get paid and things, but at the end of the day, it's some stuff I just don't think it'd be worth it. You couldn't hardly pay it. Wouldn't want to get involved in it. So we definitely lift those folks up and keep lifting each other up. I know I've preached about it several times since I've been here. That's why God gave us the church. Forsake not the assembling of yourself together, as the manner of some have, but the more so as you see the day approaching, exhorting one another to do good. We need to come here and be exhorted and reminded, encouraged and just told, sing the songs, preach the message, teach the lesson, give the testimony. At the end of the day, God get the glory. We be reminded of His goodness and His benefits. It helps me to want to keep living for the Lord. When I get here with God's people, get in a good service, get in a good meeting, however the Lord leads in it makes me want to keep living for the Lord. I need the church. God gave us that, and it's a blessing to us tonight to be a part of God's people. I know a lot of folks say they can do it just as good at home. I cannot.
I need the church.
I couldn't do it. I don't know. I ain't sat at home in a while on Wednesday or Sunday. But I know God's grace is enough, but I need the church. I need God's people.
I couldn't do it. I don't know.
We sort of appreciate each one of you. Let's all stand to our feet.
I know God's grace is enough, but